Hello everyone, this is Ibrahim Yunus, your only motivator. I've always been saying for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. I don't care wherever you are coming from. Your present circumstances cannot determine your future. I don't care wherever you are coming from. It's about what you are born with. It is what you are gifted with. I don't care where you are coming from. I don't care who your parents are. The question is that, what are you doing about it? Nobody can stop you by you. Today we have a very powerful topic, and the topic is 10 lessons from this book. 10 lessons from this book. We call it Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Let me see. More than 15 million copies worldwide are sold. Man's Search for Meaning. Have you ever read it? Do you want to learn something about it? Today I'm coming to give 10 lessons from this. I hope you enjoy it and it will benefit all of us. It's very, very important. Now, before I would give the 10 lessons, let me say something about Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was among the people that were in the concentration camp. That was in 1930 or 1933. Normally, concentration camp, that is where food is limited. The kind of food they give the people is very limited. You don't have good shelter. There's coldness. They let you do hard labor. That was Adolf Hitler's time. He just captured these people and put them there. And a lot of people died. A lot of people died. Some of the few people that survived was Viktor Frankl. So they asked him, how were you able to survive? So he gave some of these lessons, some of the things that helped him to survive despite all what he went through. Despite all the people that died, he never died. He survived it. He's able to make it through all those sacrifices. And he gave some 10 lessons. I know you are also going through problems. I don't care whether you are in Ghana, you are in US, you are in China, you are in Japan, you are in South Africa, you are in Mali, Guinea. Problem will look for you. Problems is universal. It's natural for everybody to face problems. But how do you navigate? Today we are coming to get 10 lessons from this book, Man's Search for Meaning, and I hope you enjoy it. The first lesson I learned from this book when I was reading it, that he who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. That he who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. When you are suffering, when you are in pain, according to Viktor Frankl, that when he was in the concentration camp and things became so hard, that what kept him going was that he had something to live for. That when you have something to live for, you will make it through the pain. That a lot of people died, and it wasn't because of the food. They had nothing to live for. When, I love that quote, he who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. That the first people to die, the first people who give up on life are those who lost all hope for a future. They have nothing to live for. And that was why they died. But he had something to live for. As I'm explaining, I'll give you some of the things he had to live for. So they asked him, what were the things, some of the things you had to live for? He said that the thought of his wife. That anytime he wake up, all what he see is bad things. People are dying. Sometimes you'll be sleeping and see a dead body. You wake up, there's no good food. The weather condition is very bad. They'll ask you to do hard labor. But anytime he closes his eyes, he see his wife. He see the wife smile. He see the wife talking to him. He had this strong belief he will not die in the concentration camp. He will go and see his wife. That the second thing that kept him going was that he always saw himself lecturing students about what happened at the concentration camp. So while others were fooling around, he was imagining. You see, we have two eyes. We have physical eye and the mind eye. Right now, I can only see from my physical environment, but there's another eye in my mind. I can close my eyes and see Kumasi. I can see Accra here. You can see far beyond your environment. So while he was in the concentration camp, his mind eye, he was seeing his wife, and he was seeing himself lecturing the student. He saw himself teaching people about what happened in the concentration camp. And actually, he survived. He went and saw his wife. He hugged her, they smiled, they enjoyed their life. And he taught people and even wrote a book about what happened at the concentration camp. That was some of the things that helped him to survive. So I don't care whatever condition you are going into. I want you to imagine good future for yourself. I want you to imagine what you want to do. I want you to imagine that thing in your heart you really want to do. Inshallah, you overcome it. You overcome it. The second lesson I learned from this book, Man's Search for Meaning, that life is not always about pleasure, but a quest for meaning. The greatest task for anybody is to find meaning in his or her life. Wow. That life is not always about pleasure, but a quest for meaning. The greatest task for any human being is to find meaning in his or her life. Does your life has a meaning? Are you living a meaningless life? I love George Bernard Shaw that indisciplined life is not living at all. But I'm saying life without meaning is not life at all. Everything God created must have a meaning. It must have a purpose. So I love that statement here, that life is not always about pleasure, but a quest for meaning. The greatest task for any person is to find meaning in his or her life. There's nothing God creates without a meaning. There's nothing on this planet God creates without a meaning. Everything God creates has a meaning, has a purpose, has a use. Remember, you are not a mistake. You are created for a meaning. Find your meaning and start doing it. Work on yourself to become a better person and assist people. Become useful, become meaningful. Let your life mean something to the youth. Don't waste your life. Stop wasting your time. Let your life have a meaning, have a purpose. Enjoy your life, have a meaning in your life. Your life is given to you by Almighty God to live a meaningful life, not a useless life. Live a life of meaning. And everything, it's all about look within yourself, have a healthy relationship with God and ask Him to tell you your meaning and do it. You have love, you love it, and it is useful, it's impacting other people's life. There's a difference between passion and purpose. Passion is about you, what makes you live, what makes you come alive. What is it that when you are doing, you don't even know where the time is going? What is it that when you are doing, you feel happy? That's your passion. But purpose is about other people. That thing you are passionate doing, when it's impacting other people, that's your purpose. Yesterday, somebody just called me, Mr. Enos, add me to your WhatsApp list. I said, why? That your messages is changing my life. This thing I'm doing, that's my passion. So when somebody called and said it changes life, that's a purpose. That's a calling. What is it you are doing you have passion for? And what is the impact it has on people? It's very, very important. And by the way, anybody touched by my messages, it's not only me. Mr. Nuruddin is among, TMP Studios among, they also invest time to show. So it's a whole lot of people get credit on that. It's very, very important. So the second lesson I learned from this book, that life is not always about pleasure, but a quest for meaning, and that the greatest task for any person is to find meaning in his or her life. And George Bernard Shaw said, indisciplined life is not life at all. But I said, life without meaning is not life at all. Everything God created has a meaning, has a purpose. You must discover your own and live a meaningful life. I love this third point. The third lesson I learned from Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, that forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess. Forces, God, your enemies, Satan, nature, forces, things beyond your control. Forces beyond your control can take away anything, everything you possess, except one thing, your freedom to choose how you respond to the situation. Forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess. Maybe, look, sometimes nature, God, Satan, enemies can take away everything you have. Your mom, your dad, your wife, your husband, your children, your health. Forces beyond your control can take away everything. All the business you spend time to build, everything can be taken. But there's one thing they can never take it away. Your freedom to choose your action after all what happened. That is why I said your character when you lose things, your character when you lose your mom, your character when you lose your dad, your character when you lose your business, your character when things don't go your way will determine your future. Not what happened, your character after that. So forces beyond your control can take away everything except one thing, your freedom to choose. Your freedom to choose is very, very important. That's so when he was in the concentration camp, they took away his mom, his wife, his money, his properties. But one thing they couldn't take away was his freedom to choose his actions. So he chose who he listens to. He chose who he sees in his mind. He chose what he does. You always have the freedom to choose your character during the difficult times. He also said that you cannot control what happens to you in life. You can always control how you respond. You cannot control what happens to you in life. For instance, how you are born. Like you can't control what happens to you in life. Some are born seeing their mom. Some are born without their mothers. Some are born seeing their fathers. Some don't. Some are born into a rich family. Some are born into a very poor family. You can't control those things. The only thing you have control is your choices after all what is happening. So I remember there was a time one lady was angry with me. Now, because she was angry with me, she thought I'll be pissed off. She came and saw that I was playing music. I had a nice drink. I have a nice book I want to read after that. I have a movie to watch, and I bought some healthy meal. I will take it. Like getting angry at people, it's like you take DDT and expect them to be suffering. You will suffer. Forgive them and move on. Like, I can't control you hating me or liking me, but my choice, I choose to live a happy life. Despite how you feel about me, I'm going to play music I love. I'm going to read Quran. I'm going to do nafil. I'm going to take my prayers seriously. 3:30, I'm going to do my midnight prayers. I'm going to watch movies. You can't take that away from me. You can't. So it's not what is happening to you. It's you choosing to live a happy life, regardless of what is happening. It's very, very important. Now, there's these two children from alcoholic father. They are all from the same alcoholic father. Their father is very alcoholic. One became a very successful businessman. One became a drunkard, just like his father. What's the difference? The same alcoholic father. So it's not what happens to you. Your choices after what happens will determine your future. Now, there's another two ladies. Their mother was a prostitute. One became a role model, very successful. One became a prostitute. The same prostitute mother, but different results. So it's not what happens to you. It's what are you doing about it that will determine your destiny. It's very, very important. Sometimes you see two ladies from a mother who have divorced. One also had divorced, but one married only one man and had all her kids, and she lived happily. Your choices after what happened will determine your future. Now, the one who also had divorce, they will say it was because my mother had divorce, that is why. No, there are a lot of people whose mothers had divorce, they didn't do that. Now, the lady who also became a prostitute, she says it's because my mom was a prostitute. No, there were a lot of women whose mother were prostitute, but they never did that. Your choices after what happened is what will determine your destiny. Now, there are people that are born from a poor home, but they made, so two people are born from a poor home. One became very successful businessman. One became poor, just like the home he came from. What's the difference? Their choices after that. Some two are born from a rich home. One became rich, one became poor. So you see some people, they are born from a rich home, but they end up poor. So it's not what you are born with. Your choices after that will determine your destiny. Even my case, the same mom, my elder brother, my junior brother. So our choices after what happened is very, very important. Now let me move. So that means your character, when those things happen, please maintain that right character. Don't lose it. God will bless you based on that character. The fourth lesson I learned from man's search for meaning. That the man whose self-esteem had always depended on the respect of others is emotionally destroyed. I want you to put your hands on your chest, anybody watching me, and say, you are enough. I am enough. With Almighty Allah, you are enough. That the man whose self-esteem had always depended on the respect of others is emotionally destroyed. You are enough. Your value is from Almighty God. Stop chasing validation. You are enough. You don't need anybody's validation. The only person validation you need, I think the only people you need to please on this planet is Almighty God, and then your finances. Take good care of your finances and Almighty God. When your self-esteem is derived outside of you, that's artificial. There are some women, their self-esteem depends on marrying a very rich man. So when she and the man divorced, she became like a rag. She became useless. Oh, no. Your value must come from Almighty God, not from anybody. It shouldn't come outside of you. I know men who also marry women and say, that's my lady, that's my lady. A woman can never make you a man. So when you guys divorce, who are you now? Are you a rag? Your value is from Almighty God. So actually the fourth lesson I learned from this book, that when your self-esteem is derived outside of you, you are emotionally destroyed. People will destroy you. Your self-esteem, just know that you are enough. You are enough. Love your imperfections. Just anytime I wake up, I'll just look at Eunice, you are enough. With God, all things are possible. And stop chasing people's validation. You don't need anybody's validation. The more you chase people's validation, the more they punish you emotionally. Don't let your value come from outside of you. It should come from within. Be content with who you are, where you are. It's very, very important. So if your self-esteem comes from your job, when you are retired, you live a depressed life. Some people, their self-esteem comes from the work they do, their job. Come on, you are more powerful than your job. Yes, it's part of you, but you are bigger than your job. You can create another job. So when you retire from your job, what happened? So when your job is taken away from you, what happened? The issue of self-esteem is very important. You must be content with yourself. And if your self-esteem depends on others, you are going to live a very miserable life. Take your self-esteem from anybody. It should always come within you. Your self-esteem is from Almighty God. You are enough. With God, all things are possible. It's very, very important. And this is one of the causes of divorce. Many people go into relationship expecting to get their self-worth from that relationship. So if you are sad and you go into the relationship, what did you bring into the relationship? Is it not sadness? You must be enough. Be content with who you are. Be secured in yourself. Look, when you are a handsome guy, when you are a handsome guy and you are caring and you are financially independent, you are another kind of human being on this planet. A lot of guys are handsome, but they are not working financially to be okay. So they are financially dependent. That's not flex. When you are handsome and caring and financially independent, you are one of the most powerful humans on this planet. And especially if you even have a gift and passion you are pursuing. Come on. It's just a matter of time. You own the whole world. So these are the things. Your self-esteem must not come from outside of you. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. So many people go into relationships sad and they expect their partner to make them happy. What if your partner also came into the relationship with sadness? Who is going to make the other happy? Immediately you quit a relationship. Work on your insecurity. Become secured in yourself. Become independent emotionally. Discover your purpose. Then you go into the relationship with happiness. You are going to give what you have. So if you have sadness, you just give sadness. So it's very, very important. Now let me use this analogy. This is 20 cedi. That's the value. The value is 20 cedi. So let's say I scramble it. Does that change the value? Even if a tear is small, does that change the value? That is who you are. Your value is intact from Almighty God. Stop letting your value come from outside of you. Don't allow that. It's very, very important. Now let's go to the fifth lesson from Man's Search for Meaning. The fifth lesson. I love this point. That people rose to challenges as long as they believe there was a meaning to their suffering. Rose to challenges. People rose to challenges as long as they believe there was a meaning to their suffering. Wow. Have you read the story of Nelson Mandela? He spent 27 years in prison. They asked him, Nelson Mandela, look, if you just stop doing this fight, we will give you cars, houses, and let you enjoy your life. He said, no. What is the essence of enjoying my life when my people are not freed? Nelson Mandela invested 27 years until the British, the whites, the colonies gave in and gave South Africa freedom from apartheid. Look, people rose to challenges as long as they believe there was a meaning to their suffering. I don't care whatever challenge is it. If you believe there's a meaning to that suffering, you rose to that challenge. The worst challenge to rose is a meaningless challenge. When a challenge is not worth it, don't rose to it. Don't fight it. But people rose to challenges as long as they believe there was a meaning to their suffering. Do you know Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King, the wife told him, look, this road you are going, they will kill you. Please stop it. He said no. Entire generation future depends on this choice. People told him, Martin Luther King, look at the way they are maltreating you. Won't you stop this fight? You don't have a problem. You have a PhD. You are a doctor. Financially, you are okay. Why do you continue to be doing this? What is your problem? He said, I want one day my 4 children, he was having 4 children, will be judged not by the skin of their color, but their intellect, their character, not their skin. He fought till his last breath. Martin Luther King was killed, but he won. He said, I saw a dream. One day, my people will be judged not by the skin of their color, but by their intellect, their character. Today, if you are in America, you can go to schools, any schools the wise goes. Today, you have the freedom to talk. That was the fight Martin Luther King did. Now, how was he able to go through all those challenges? People rose to challenges when they know there's a meaning to that challenges. The reason why you don't rose to your challenge is because it's a meaningless challenge. When your challenge has a meaning, you rose to it. It's very important. Could you imagine Mahatma Gandhi from India? He starved himself till the colonies give in and give them India the freedom. Wow! Just fast and starve yourself. They serve him food, he refused. Just starved himself. Because he knew after starving, my people will have freedom. People rose to challenges when there's a meaning to their suffering. Even when you look at Mother Teresa, she was an SS tutor. She doesn't have a problem. But anytime she's walking to her school to teach, she will find kids. Children are suffering. They don't have food to eat. They are suffering. One day she just quit her SHS job and just focused on these children, taking care of them. Orphanage children. She started giving them, according to story, that there was a time she gave one of the child bread. And the child just hold the bread and start crying. She said, eat. And the child refused to eat. But Teresa went around and came and saw the child still holding the bread. Then Mother Teresa asked the child. The child said, I'm afraid if I eat the bread and it's finished, I'll not get another bread again. Wow. Some of you eat food and throw the rest of the food away. People are suffering. So I love this fifth lesson. People rose to challenges as long as they believe there was a meaning to their suffering. Lastly, look at my wife. When my wife was to give birth to Abdul Salam, the challenge. I said, Queen, how was it? She forced herself. She birthed my son. And after the challenge, she looked at my son and said, it's worth it. Today I look at Abdul Salam, very handsome, and I look at the suffering my wife went through. I said, it's worth it. So is your suffering worth it? If your suffering is worth it, trust me, I'll ask you, continue to go on. Please don't give up. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Even look at Jesus Christ, the cross he carries. Do you think he really wanted to carry that cross? There was a time he prayed and said, oh Lord, if there's a way, take this burden away from me. But if there's no way, let your will be done. The reason why Jesus pursued, insisted, and went and did it is because there was a meaning to that suffering. Today, a lot of Christians got their salvations. Today, we have Bible, wisdom, we are learning from it. So, what sacrifice are you going through for others? Sacrifice is good, but it must be meaningful. Do meaningful sacrifice. Now, the sixth lesson I learned from this book, that's fifth point. The sixth lesson I learned from this book, that having a why to live for enable you to bear the how and the what. So, one of my mentors is Les Brown. There was this football thing they do, and he went in there, he's also going to do it. So they asked him, he should go and hit somebody. Like when the person get the ball, he should go and hit him. And Les Brown wasn't strong. So the guy got the ball, Les Brown went and hit him, and the person hit Les Brown went and fell. And I think he even had a small crack. So when Les Brown just got up, he picked the thing and said that he will not do the thing again, because it's not worth it. But when Les Brown started his speaking career, look, even if he failed, he will continue again. He failed, he continue again, he failed, because it was worth it. So he said that having a why to live for enable you bear the how and the what. So when you find the truth is that to succeed is very hard. To succeed is very hard. But when you have a why to live for, it can also help you. It's just like when you find the right woman, when you find the right husband, when you find the right spouse, you do things you never thought you would do. That is how it is. If you find the right job you are passionate about, I love Confucius. He said that choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. You see, when you choose a job you really love, you will never work a day in your life, because every day is something you love. So having a why to live for enable you to bear the how and the what is very it's the same thing. Choose someone you love and you never have to work in the relationship again. So it's very, very important. Now this seventh point, the seventh lesson I learned from Man's Search for Meaning, that Hannah thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. So the fifth commandment Allah gave to Prophet Musa is that honor thy father, that honor your father, honor your mother, that your days may be long upon the land. Anybody who does not honor their parents will not live long, according to the fifth commandment. Anybody who does not honor their parents will not live long. If you look at these big people on social media, you see somebody looking big on the social media, but trust me, if you see where their mothers are sleeping, if you see the food their mothers are eating is very bad. Sorry, if you see them big on social media, but if you see where their mothers are sleeping, what their mother is eating, whether she's a lady, a celebrity lady, whether it's a celebrity man, if you see how sometimes their father what to eat, it's very, very bad. And the fifth commandment said we should honor our parents our mom and our dad, so that we live. That is why we don't live long. We don't live long. And that anybody who does not honor their parents, you will not live long. I know people who block their parents. Yes, if you have a good reason, it's possible. But some people just block their parents. Some don't even visit their parents. It's very, very bad. It's very, very bad. And you know one funny thing? Sometimes if you have toxic parents, this is what you should do. Every week, call them. Month, you visit them, or maybe you send them money. And when you call them, give them 3 minutes so that they will not be so much toxic. So you just call, hello mom, how are you? Hello dad, how are you? You are doing well. Then you just cut it. But to just ignore them totally is not the best. It's not the best. And parents, I will advise you, don't be so toxic to your children. The world out there is so hard on us too. It's not like you have had some hard things. We are also facing challenges. Especially when you people couldn't build anything for us. We are really suffering. So the little we do for you, learn to appreciate it. Don't be so toxic, because life is so hard for us too. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. So the 8th lesson I learned from man's search for meaning, that love is the ultimate and the highest goal to which man can aspire. Love is the ultimate and the highest goal to which man can aspire. So that's so when he, according to Viktor Frankl, that when he wakes up, he sees so many bad things, but he has someone he loves. So he imagined her looking at him, smiling, telling him to come home. He looks at her beauty. So his mind just clung to his wife's image, her beauty, her love, her smile. This keeps him going. And he also saw himself, his future, teaching the young ones about what is happening at the concentration camp. So when he died, he can't achieve it. So he has to survive. These were some of the things that keeps him going. It's very important. So one thing I learned from this is that we all need 2 people in our lives. Someone we love and someone who loves us. If you don't have this, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you have money but you don't have someone who loves you, you don't have someone you love, you live a very depressed life. And it's nature, it's God. Like you see a lot of ladies, but there will be one lady, when you just see her, like God will just communicate a certain love in your heart. You just have a certain feeling. That's your woman. It's in the Quran, though I can't state it, that he kept some affection between you, the man, and the woman. Why is it that so many women, you don't feel anything, but that lady, there's something about her, you just click. And it's the same thing as the ladies too. You've seen so many guys, but there's this lady, I was asking my wife that the first day she saw me at training college, she knew I'd be the man. I said, what do you mean? That there was something strange about me and her connection. Meanwhile, we're not talking, we see each other, we pass, but that she knew, when she just saw me, she was afraid. She knew this guy would date me. And I also know I finally dated her and then married her. So we all need these 2 things in life. Someone we love and someone who loves us. Love is the ultimate goal. People will kill for love. A lot of people today are successful because of love. Somebody broke their heart and then they just use that energy. Somebody also want to prove to some lady. Somebody want to win a lady. He will do extra. People are doing so many things because of love. It's very, very important. And God also said he is love. God is love, and you accept that which is love. And you see, when a man is in love, when a woman is in love, I think the second heaven on earth is when you are in love. The feeling is strange. The feeling is ecstasy. The feeling is beautiful. So the eighth lesson I learned from this book is that love is the ultimate and the highest goal to which man can aspire. So we must all look for someone we love and then surround ourselves with people who really loves us. It's energy. Love is energy, and you blossom, you succeed when you are around love. Be grateful with the people that loves you. Don't take advantage of them. Now the 9th lesson I learned from man's search for meaning, that there's always light after the dark. Wow. That there's always light after the dark. Sometimes the dark might take 1 hour, sometimes a day, sometimes a week, sometimes a month, sometimes years. But at the end of the day, there's always light after the dark. It's not possible to always be dark. No. There will always be light after the dark. So it's very, very important. And some of you who are fortunate to see a drink called the 7-Up. 7-Up. It's a drink. They write 7-Up. The man failed 6 times. The 7th time he succeeded. Today he's one of the wealthiest people on the planet. There's always light after the dark. The key is don't give up. When you give up, that ends it. But if you don't give up, it might take a day, a week, a month, a year. If you don't give up, you will surely get it. But when you give up, forget it. Forget it. The 10th lesson I learned from this book, that the world is in a bad state, but everything will become still worse unless each of us does his best. A lot of people focus on complaining, criticizing people. Are you sure that is what will solve? That is what will minimize our problem? No. Let's all do our best to minimize, to solve the problem. I remembered I shoot a video about how to manage money. A lot of people criticize me. That's wrong. You should have done it. You too, don't criticize what I've shared. All what you need to do is you to shoot your own. People are suffering. I just said, number 1, give this percentage to Almighty God. It doesn't mean you should give it to God. Help people. People are in need. Help people. That's all what I mean. Instead of you to also, people are suffering. People don't know certain things. Instead of you to also shoot or teach or do something to help, you are there criticizing other people. I love this quote. That it's better for you to create something for others to criticize than to be the criticizer. What do you gain from criticizing? Musicians sing stupid things. Do you criticize them? People act stupid movies. Do you criticize them? I made a message to help somebody and you are there criticizing. What do you gain from that? The world is in a bad state, but everything will still become worse unless we do something about it. This is the little I know and I'm giving. If you also know something better, shoot it, do it. But let's stop criticizing some ego. I'm not interested. I want to help people. That's the most important thing for me. I've lived a life, others are coming. The lesson I learned, I teach them. If you have better lesson, teach. Don't come and be criticizing people unnecessarily. Maybe you don't have time. That's why you are doing that. It's very, very important. And I love this last point. That don't ask what your country will do for you. Ask what can I do for what can I do for my country? Don't ask what your country will do for you, because your country will disappoint you. Ask yourself, what can I do for my country? I love the youth I'm building. If you go on TikTok and see the number of people that are thanking me for my message, most of them are Ghanaians, some are Mali, some are South Africa, some are from Canada. Don't ask your country what your country will do for you, because your country really is in debt. It's in serious debt. Ask, what can I do for my country? Take good care of yourself and help the people around you. On this note, I'm well known with this statement. Status in the world is not defined by what work you do, but by how well you do what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. Whatever you do, give it your all, and everybody around you shall benefit from it. And be givers in life. Don't wait for people to show you love. Give love first. And remember what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that la yu'minu ahadukum hatta yuhibba ahihi ma yuhibba li nafsihi. That none of you is truly a believer until you wish for your brother what you wish for yourself. I wish the best for myself, and I wish all of you to the best. God bless you. Please try and subscribe. Ibrahim Yunus. I just need 3 things from you. Just like, comment, and subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, share for others to subscribe, and like and comment. I didn't take any money from you for you to benefit from this message. The only thing I need from you is just 3 things. Just like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only way to support me. And I know people who really loves me will easily do that for me. Subscribe, comment, and like. And you've already subscribed, just share it, like and comment, and share it for others to also like and subscribe. God bless you. Bye bye.